This is the Zodiac speaking. December 20th, 1968. A cold Friday night in Benicia, California. Two teenagers are parked in a remote area off Lake Herman Road. David Faraday, 17 years old, star athlete, honor student. Betty Lou Jensen, 16 years old, on her very first date with David. They were parked there for less than an hour. Someone walked up to the car and shot them both. David was found dead beside the car. Betty Lou had tried to run. She was shot 5 times in the back. She made it 28 feet before she fell. The killer left no witnesses, no fingerprints, no motive. Just 2 teenagers, and a night that would change Northern California forever. Because this was only the beginning. Over the next 12 months, this killer would strike again, and again. He would taunt the police. He would mock the newspapers. He would send coded messages that baffled the world's best cryptographers. And then, he would simply disappear. He called himself the Zodiac. And more than 50 years later, nobody knows who he was. Most serial killers are given their names by the media or by police. The Zodiac was different. He named himself. The Zodiac Killer is believed to have murdered at least 5 people in Northern California between 1968 and 1969. But that number is almost certainly too low. The murderer claimed to have taken the lives of as many as 37 people through his various letters. 37. Police could only confirm 5. The gap between what he claimed and what investigators could prove, that gap became one of the most disturbing aspects of this case. Because it meant one of 2 things. Either the Zodiac was lying, exaggerating his body count for maximum terror, or there were 32 more victims that police never found. No one knows which is true. What we do know is this. The Zodiac murdered victims in Benicia, Vallejo, Lake Berryessa, and San Francisco between December 1968 and October 1969. 4 men and 3 women between the ages of 16 and 29 were targeted. He targeted young couples, parked in remote areas. He attacked at night. He attacked without warning. And after each attack, he wrote letters. Strike after strike. After the first attack on December 20th, 1968, there was silence. For 7 months. Then, on July 4th, 1969, the Zodiac struck again. This time in Vallejo, California. Mike Maju, 19, and Darlene Ferrin, 22, were parked at Blue Rock Springs Park. A car pulled up beside them. A man got out. He shot them both at close range. Darlene Ferrin died. Mike Maju survived, barely. He was the first person to survive a Zodiac attack. And his eyewitness description would become one of the most important pieces of evidence in the entire case. He described a stocky white male, approximately 5 feet 8 inches, with light brown hair. He was wearing glasses. And he didn't say a word. Then, 2 weeks later, something happened that no one expected. Everything changed with letters received by 3 Bay Area newspapers on August 1, 1969. Each of the San Francisco Chronicle, San Francisco Examiner, and Vallejo Times-Herald was sent a 408-character cryptogram and a chilling warning: publish the cipher, or more people will die. The letters each contained 1/3 of a coded message. Put together, it was a 408-character cipher. The letters demanded that newspapers print the cipher on their front pages. If they didn't, the killer promised to go on a killing spree. The newspapers published them. Within a week, local couple Donald and Betty Harden were able to crack the 408-character cipher. Its decrypted message was raving and frightening, starting with, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." The decoded message continued. The killer claimed that his victims would become his slaves in the afterlife. He had signed the letter with a symbol. A circle with a crosshair through it. The symbol of the Zodiac. The Zodiac had announced himself to the world. And the world was terrified. 2 more attacks followed. On September 27, 1969, at Lake Berryessa, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking when a man approached them wearing a black hood with the Zodiac symbol stitched on it. He tied them up and stabbed them repeatedly. Cecilia Shepard died 2 days later in the hospital. Brian Hartnell survived. Before leaving, the attacker carved the dates of all his attacks into Brian's car door. He was leaving a record. He wanted people to know. The final confirmed Zodiac murder happened on October 11, 1969. On October 11, 1969, the Zodiac shot and killed a 29-year-old taxi driver, Paul Stine, in San Francisco. 2 police officers drove past Stine's cab just minutes after the shooting. They saw a man leaning into the cab. They assumed he was a passenger helping the driver. They kept driving. The Zodiac walked away into the night, never to be positively identified again. Taunting the world. After each attack, a letter. Always to newspapers. Always taunting. Always signed with the crosshair symbol. His letters, sent from 1969 to 1974, were signed with a symbol resembling the crosshairs of a gun sight and typically began with the phrase "This is the Zodiac speaking." After the Paul Stine murder, the Zodiac sent a letter to the San Francisco Chronicle. Inside the envelope, a piece of Paul Stine's bloodstained shirt. Proof. The Zodiac wrote that he had watched 2 police officers walk past the scene and laughed at them. He called them pigs. He said they had come within 100 feet of him. He was right. In another letter, he threatened to attack a school bus full of children. While this attack never occurred, it was the inspiration for a scene in Clint Eastwood's film Dirty Harry in 1971. He sent ciphers. Codes that he claimed would reveal his identity. Included among the letters were 4 ciphers or cryptograms. Only the first was decoded. The second cipher, 340 characters, was not solved for over 50 years. In December 2020, a team of amateur codebreakers finally cracked it. Inside, no name. Just more taunting. More bragging about the killings. The 3rd and 4th ciphers have never been decoded. To this day. And then, in 1974, the letters stopped. Just like that. No explanation. No final message. Silence. Who is he? Over 2,500 people have been named as possible suspects. The case has been described as arguably the most famous unsolved murder case in American history. 2,500 suspects. And yet, no arrest. No conviction. No answer. Here are the 3 most credible suspects that investigators have focused on. Suspect number 1. Arthur Lee Allen. Arthur Lee Allen, the only publicly named suspect in the Zodiac Killer case, was a convicted child molester and former elementary school teacher. The evidence against Allen was remarkable in its specificity. Allen had a watch with a Zodiac crosshairs symbol, used the same kind of typewriter as the Zodiac Killer, and was identified by survivor Maju as the man who shot him. He had told a friend, before the killings began, that he wanted to hunt humans for sport. He referred to himself as Zodiac. He lived and worked in the exact areas where the attacks occurred. But, despite compelling circumstantial and eyewitness evidence, Arthur Lee Allen was officially excluded by DNA analysis. Forensic evidence collected from the killer's letters, including saliva from stamps, did not match Allen's profile. Allen died in 1992, without ever being charged. Suspect number 2. Gary Francis Post. In 2021, a group of investigators claimed that Gary Francis Post, a house painter who died in 2018, was the killer. The offered evidence included several witnesses who claimed Post had admitted to the murders and scars on Post's forehead that matched witness descriptions of the killer. A volunteer cold case team called the Case Breakers alleges that a whistleblower told them that an FBI agent confirmed Gary Francis Post is currently listed as a suspect in FBI databases, with a partial DNA sample on file. However, law enforcement officials rejected the claim, and the FBI investigation remains ongoing. Post died in 2018, taking whatever he knew with him. Suspect number 3. Lawrence Kane. Lawrence Kane was a Bay Area resident who had suffered a brain injury in a car accident, an injury that, according to some investigators, changed his personality dramatically. The sister of Zodiac victim Darlene Farron claimed that Kane had followed her sister for months leading up to the murder. In addition, possible Zodiac abductee Kathleen Johns positively identified Kane as her abductor. He eventually died in 2010 in Reno, Nevada. 3 suspects. 3 men who are now dead. And the case, still open. The questions that remain. The Zodiac Killer case is considered one of the most investigated cold cases in American history. And yet, no arrest. No name. No answer. Why? Reason 1. Technology did not exist. In 1969, there was no digital forensics. No cell phone tracking. No DNA databases. The saliva on the stamps, which eventually excluded Allen, couldn't even be properly analyzed until decades later. Reason 2. Jurisdiction problems. The attacks happened in multiple cities and counties: Benicia, Vallejo, Lake Berryessa, San Francisco. Each jurisdiction had its own investigators. Communication between agencies was poor. Evidence was fragmented and poorly coordinated. Reason 3. He stopped. Over 30 years after he exploded onto the headlines of the San Francisco Chronicle, the Zodiac serial killer remains an enigma that is unparalleled in the history of crime in America. Killers who stop are infinitely harder to catch than those who continue. The Zodiac simply stopped. Did he die? Did he move? Was he imprisoned for another crime? Nobody knows. Reason 4. The ciphers. 3 of the 4 ciphers sent by the Zodiac remain unsolved. One of them, he claimed, contained his name. If that's true, his identity may be sitting in a decoded message that no one has cracked yet. What we're left with: 5 confirmed victims. Possibly 37. Over 2,500 suspects investigated. 55 years. And still, no answer. The Zodiac Killer case remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in American criminal history. As of late 2024, the identity of the person behind these horrific crimes remains officially unconfirmed by law enforcement. An official FBI statement from 2021 confirmed, the Zodiac Killer case remains open. We have no new information to share at the moment. The crosshair symbol, the taunting letters, the unsolved ciphers, they remain buried in evidence boxes, waiting. The Zodiac wanted to be remembered. And in the cruelest irony, he got exactly what he wanted. The world remembers him, but nobody knows his name. Subscribe to Unburied Vault, because nothing stays buried forever.